Hello, ladies. This will be a really good test on whether or not this is going to be too loud or not. I'm at my son Jacob's soccer practice, and so you may end up hearing his coach in the background, plus maybe kids running around. But I wanted to make sure this is our final week 4 of the free trial of the 12-week women's cross training. So the next 8 weeks will be starting next week. And so, so far this month, we've talked about the cost of getting lean. We've talked about the problems with calorie counting. And we've also now are going to look at this portion control guide. And so we also have a question, and we're going to look at that question also. So we'll be just a few minutes here as we go through your guide. So last time that we talked about the guide having the calories for women being at least 1,500 calories or so. So what I would like you to do is take a look at this guide and maybe compare it with what you might have tracked over the last week. If you guys were able to do your 3 days at least of tracking, what your calories might have been. And so I wanted to kind of just introduce you to these ideas of how to put your meals together and what it actually looks like. So if you were to look down at the palm of your hand, at Precision Nutrition, we like to say that your hand is probably sized pretty good for you yourself. So if at each meal of the day you had 1 to 2 palm-sized, your own palm size of protein in your plate at each meal. So this little plate here is really just an example of how to put everything together in a balanced way. So you can get everything in your day. So then when you move into vegetables, if you were to close your fist, a serving of vegetables would be between 1 and 2 fists on your plate. Okay, so you have your protein, you have your vegetables, and then your carbohydrates, we count those as like fruits and grains and starches. If you were to cup your hand, how much do you think you could fit in the cup of your hand? And so 1 to 2 cup-sized, hand-sized, for your own hand of carbohydrates. And then on fats, you want to take a look at your thumb. So your own thumb size, this is oils and butters and nuts and seeds, 1 to 2 thumb-sized portions per meal. So if you were to do this, it would give you between 1,500 up into like 2,300 calories. So we do want to kind of play with it. And what I would do is maybe just play around with it. And if you really do love calorie counting still, you could compare the 2 versions. But what I would say for weight loss is if you were to make sure that you eat at least the minimum amounts of all of these serving sizes, that should help you stay within a healthy range. So what I want to do is be with you as you try this over the next few weeks. So I've introduced all the different ways that we're going to get started with this. And then now over the next 8 weeks, I want to be here with you in the group as you give it a try to answer questions along the way. Okay, so that's kind of my idea. So the question that I had, let me pull up my question here. And the question that we had, and it was a little delayed on my part on getting this out here, but I had meant to get it out here now that we're about to get started in more details about nutrition. But the question was, is it better to eat small meals throughout the day or to eat 3 whole meals or and then fast after a certain time at night? So what I want to tell you is I would suggest that you try it both ways for your own self and see what the results are. Give it 2 weeks and then monitor things like how you actually feel. So how do you actually feel when you eat small meals throughout the day? And how do you actually feel when you eat just 3 meals? there's so many different methods that I have used, and then I've been trained that certain methods are the correct way. And so I know that it's been spit out there that there's certain methods that are the correct way, but really all these are just methods. And then kind of what the fitness industry does is they pick a method and then they sell you that method. So there are different methods that will work for different people, especially like having to do with like your schedule. Okay, so for a lot of people, eating small meals throughout the day is not possible, and it's better to eat 3 whole meals. And I also want to take the pressure off of you that as long as your calorie ranges are pretty reasonable, you don't really have to worry about how many meals and when, honestly. You could eat 1 or 2 meals, and I know that goes against like a lot of information, but I want you to just try it, okay? So let's just worry about like the overall servings that you're getting of protein, carbs, and healthy fats, and let's make sure that we just get all of those servings in during the day, okay? And at least a minimum of those 1,500 calories, and at least a minimum of those 60 grams of protein, okay? So that is my answer to kind of either or. There's so many different little things I could tell you about each one, but it really goes off how your body actually feels. So let me know if you have any additional questions in the comments. Okay, thank you.